Most e-commerce businesses are going to face cash flow issues at some point in their journey. And it may be that everything now is going really well and sales are growing and there's plenty of cash coming in and nice profits and so on. But it can sometimes just be one or two little things that tip it over the edge. And the best thing to do is to be prepared for that. Because if it hasn't happened to you yet, then chances are it is going to happen at some point. And if you have already experienced it, then these things that I'm about to share with you will help you in the future to prevent it from happening again. So the first thing is the most obvious, is have a cash flow sheet. And you probably heard that before. And if you don't have cash flow forecasts yet, I would really, really recommend that you do it. It doesn't have to be complicated, just a simple spreadsheet showing what money's coming in that week, what money's going out that week, and the balances at the end of it. You can do it monthly, but weekly is better. It gives you a little bit more control. I know some people do it daily, and that works for them, but at least weekly is a good idea. And you want that cash flow sheet, that forecast, to be for at least the next 3 months, because that enables you to see what problems are coming up and do something about them. The second thing is to make sure that you put money aside for VAT or other taxes. And the easiest way of doing this is to open a separate account. Don't have a space or a pot or anything like this on your existing current account. Open a whole new bank account specifically just for this. And every week, transfer 15 to 20% of your income into that account. And then just be really, really disciplined and don't touch it. Because one of the biggest issues with cash flow comes at the end of each quarter when the business has to pay for VAT and then doesn't have the money to do it. And that causes endless problems. So do yourself a huge, huge favor. Once you get used to transferring that and not having that 15 or 20%, you get used to it. So initially it's quite hard, but you will get used to it and you'll work with what is left, which is the idea of doing this. The key thing is point number 3, don't cheat. It's very easy to have a cash flow sheet, have your separate tax account, and then not do the things the way that they should be done. So on the cash flow sheet, you'll increase the sales, for example, or the income to make it look better and go, oh, well, it's going to be okay as long as we hit those numbers. Be realistic, because the only person you're cheating is yourself, because you're going to get to that week or get to that point and there's not going to be enough cash. So it's far better just to stick with and go, look, there's something bad about to happen. We can see it's going to happen. What are we going to do about it and how do we adjust it? And there'll be other times when I'll talk about what you can do to fix that when you see that coming. The fourth thing is related to that. Don't ignore problems. If you see that you're going to be running out of cash in the next few weeks, do something about it now. It's a lot easier to fix it now than it is right at the point when the cash problems occur. If you've got this time, these few weeks or whatever, you've got plenty of time while things are still okay to deal with what is coming up, to rearrange things with creditors or suppliers, to get extra cash in, to hold sales, to get rid of stock, etc. So don't leave it until the last minute hoping that it's going to fix itself. It rarely does. It's going to take you actually doing something. And the final point is to prepare for the future. Like I said at the beginning, if you haven't had cash flow issues yet, chances are it's going to happen. So stay as lean as you possibly can be. Don't go just because there's a bit of extra cash now. Don't go and splurge it on things. Don't go buying things. Don't go doing things that are costing the money that you're not going to see the return in for a very long time. You want to store as much cash as possible while the times are good, so that when things get a little bit sort of drier, then you've got that cash to cover you. So that's 5 things to help you manage your cash flow in the future. If you're already having cash flow issues, we'll do a separate video specifically for that on the 5 levers on how to manage that cash flow problem.